All right, everybody, welcome in. This is going to be another Stormgate cast, and I'm Algorithmor. And this is No Use for a Name. Actually, this is FilterSC, who is new to the Stormgate community, but is not new to RTS, and is not new to the YouTube community, as he is or was, I don't think he's active on YouTube as much anymore, but he was a StarCraft content creator who you might know from his StarCraft videos. And today he'll be playing some Stormgate with us as the Blue Infernal, who apparently is testing out a very interesting build. But we'll get back to that in a second, because his opponent in the red Celestial and the submitter of this replay, this is Aureil Stormgate. That's because I was on the Discord and I was like, I want to cast some games. I'm a bit lazy to go mine them off of the untapped.gg. If you haven't checked that out, that's where I get a lot of my games. And I said, hey Aureil, you got any games? He said, I think I got something for you. It's a custom game we played, and this is it. And I think it was, oh, pardon me. I think this is part of a series, possibly that they were playing to test things, or maybe to learn some new build orders or something. So we'll see exactly what they were doing. So maybe it was possibly this 3 shrine thing that Filter was trying to try out, but maybe who knows? I'm not privy to that part, so maybe we can pick up on that a bit. They were having a little bit of chatter there as they're opening. So we'll see what happens in this game. For the moment, I do like this. I didn't notice this immediately, but Aureil's gone and expanded over here. And I'll tell you why this is. One, he's pretty smart. He knows his maps, and he knows where, you know, the advantages are and where the disadvantages are, and he really thinks that this mine is particularly vulnerable as a Celestial, because you got to put your array right there, which anything from the low ground can hit with very short range, whereas mining workers are a little harder to hit there. So I think he just thinks that this base is probably easier to defend, at least in the early game here, until he has enough forces to maybe defend that other base, which I think that's wise. And we see him creeping out the health camp. We got one morph core preparing, and this is an interesting expansion pattern, and I don't hate it. It's sort of away from Filter, and he's going for this vector build, and we'll see how that works out. I think Celestials are trying different things to crack the Infernals. And remember, in the sort of rock paper scissors of the factions that has been going on during early access, Celestials have had a problem with Infernals. Infernals have had a problem with Vanguard, and it sort of goes around, Vanguard having a problem with Celestials. But in this matchup, since the brutes have become a little bit more oppressive, that makes it even harder for the Celestials to try to crack this. And so maybe this was part of Aureil trying to figure out, what do I do? Here we see him picking off a few gaunts there, getting another fiend, doing a good job of microing the units. That's what he needs to do, of course, with this composition choice, going for the vectors. They are micro bowl units, and you want to be able to keep the weaklings. See how he used the Delta Jump to move the weak ones away. Basically, how you might use stalkers in StarCraft 2. But Filter is able to keep them away. There just wasn't enough vectors yet. We're up to maybe 8, 9. And yeah, he's pulling back to try and heal them up, because once they're low, they become very vulnerable. So Vector's getting healed up, and Filter moving out to maybe take this Vision Camp. Staying on tier 1. Do we got upgrades yet? Not yet. And the Vectors are coming in, and they're trying to focus down Brutes. And Brutes, I guess, are just a little bit more tanky. And a couple go down. A couple go down. And the good thing about Vector Micro is if you're doing it right, you're basically getting 3 kills every time. So again, a free Brute, free Fiends, or Fiends. And now, okay, now we gotta watch out. 1 Vector goes down. And the Brutes are pushing in. Another Vector goes, 2 Vectors go down. Actually, 1 Delta jumped away. And it does look like we have recall as we see that little recall echo here. And the other thing you got to do when you're playing this style is you want to make sure that you're harassing the Brutes, make sure that you're always getting some damage done. Although at the moment this is more of a desperate defense in the healing camp, trying to keep these Vectors alive, and actually doing quite a good job. And Strange Prism just floating above. And actually pushing back, cutting through all the Brutes now, which means the Vectors definitely have the advantage. The Gaunts say, fine, we'll go toe-to-toe to you, but the Vectors are not worried about that. They can micro themselves so much easier. Aureil showing off his APM and his skills there. As he micros them back, they're all so low. Look how low they are. And I do think Filter's doing a good job. Actually, if you push back into the healing, I thought he was going to take on the lower health Vectors there and try and force them to fight. Instead, the Vectors are able to come up here. There's a Sovereign's Watch. This is not very good for Filter. Oh, so many Brutes going down, and very good micro from Aureil. Very good. So, yeah. That's the whole army taken care of. Maybe losing a Vector or 2. Now, this Vector play is really strong in this early to mid game here. But at some point, we might be seeing more high-tech units coming out of Filter that are going to make this harass, this sort of army-to-army harass, so much less effective. Although it looks like we're still on tier 1. And, you know, maybe this is part of the meta right now, given how strong Brutes are. Do we got upgrades? I think we saw, yeah, we saw the Infernal Fury. We don't have Fiend Explosion yet. That's one of the best named upgrades out there. We have our Gaunts, also not upgraded. Oh wait, I think that's Bone Axes. That's nothing. No Reaper's Rush yet. And a lot of Vectors means a lot of DPS out of those units. It also means a little bit more that units that you have to control and keep your eye on. Just increases the overhead of trying to keep them all alive. Oh, now we're seeing a switch into Sabers. And the Sabers just queuing up in the back there. Okay, big engage here. And some of the stuns are doing what they can to get some kills, because with the stun, some of those Vectors are unable to get away. That one Vector is like bravely drives through a bunch of Brutes, makes it home. Evolution Catalyst used on the healing camp to capture it quickly, whereas these Brutes have circled around behind here and are trying to go for this third base. Gaunts on the low ground are getting a little bit aggroed, but actually now they're turning into the flank force as we see Aureil Delta jumps down to the low ground there for a moment. Try and defend it, but he is kind of surrounded. Tries to use Mass Accelerator to get the Sabers out. More Sabers showing up. But now it's just Gaunts here with the Shroud Fall from Filter. This Arc Ship's going to go down. I don't think that's the main Arc Ship, but we actually see a Dragon showing up as well. And this could be it here. Although actually there's not a lot of a ground force. And the Dragon is getting focused by a Sovereign's Watch. And a Strike Note. Oh, the Dragon has to retreat. Oh, I thought the Dragon might go down here. That would be a shame, but no, it does get out of there. And the Sabers are able to also chase away the Gaunts, who were being hit quite bad. Actually, look at this. What's going on here? Aeon Gate, Strike Nodes. None of these are Strike Nodes. Oh, they're all upgrading. Aureil's got something up his sleeve. I thought he was maybe taking out too much damage out there, but no, he was down here making Strike Nodes. Oh, here comes a Guardian Nexus. No, he cancels it. Strike Nodes do get up, but there's no army here. Aeon Gate Is anything gonna come to save the day? No. Okay, I thought this was gonna be something fun and cool. Oh, here we go. Sabers show up. Boom. Oh, I didn't know you could do this. In and out micro. In and out micro. Okay, that's kind of cool. Always learning something new from Aureil. We got in and out micro. That means your sabers get to stay invisible. Yeah, just wait till the shadow flyers show up. Just wait till the shadow flyers show up. Until then, he gets to do this sweet micro. I'm... Oh, it's Hexen that show up. Well, cast your skulls then. Oh, but sides show up as well. Okay. I was thinking shadow flyers because they give you that easy detection, but they went for Hex, or Filter went for Hexens here, and Hexen, oh, they both went down. They didn't cast their skulls. So now this army is the micro of Aureil. He's got the sides above that are trying to pick off Gaunts. He's got the sabers popping out whenever they can to melt some Gaunts. And anytime that Filter comes back to try and attack them, he just pops back in and goes invisible again. Now, again, Filter needs to make some shadow flyers and send them over here. And I'm just a little perplexed by this. I do think Filter's a little bit newer into the game, and he might not realize, like, he's got to have a spire. He's got double spires right here. They almost certainly... So he's got shroud stones here. Is that what he got the vision with eventually? Like, I get it, but that to me looks like someone who's not yet realized where all the detection options are in the army. He also could have made weavers, of course. So those of you out there playing maybe don't know everything about the Infernal yet. What's going on over here? Same business. And also notice we got a Guardian Nexus, double Guardian Nexus going down here. If this can get surged, it adds extra armor to the buildings. And right now we have a surged, what is this one called? An Ascension Matrix, which gives extra 20% damage to all these sabers. And right now this is the saber Aeon push that, you know, we've all been dreaming of. We've all just wished that this is what the game was all about. Watch out, because you're gonna get a saber push. Ooh, bunch of weavers here. Weavers are the right answer because they are going to be able to lash in on the sabers, and they have the detection. But at the moment, they are unsupported and they are being melted by these sabers. So Aureil, who I thought has been in a bad spot, is actually got Filter out on his heels here, as Filter's not exactly sure how to deal with this. While there's almost a two-pronged harass going here, and it's so funny to say that it's like two-pronged saber attack. There are a few vectors left over, but this is mostly just a saber army, and sabers are real good against the ground. They were nerfed, I think, recently, and that's why they don't get as much play. But we can see how they're just melting things. These poor imps walking by, all getting deleted. And boom. Is this going to be a win for Aureil here? So you got more sabers coming out. I mean, the thing is, he's sort of desperate in these moves. He's had bases taken down, a couple bases taken down. Does he have this base back up? Yes, he does. Does he have this base? Not yet. He's mining Therium over here. But, okay, so he's not as dire as I might think, but nor is Filter. Filter lost a base, but is doing all right otherwise. Has this forward base even, as well as this base that is where Aureil was set up for a few seconds. Filter saying, I know I'm super dead. I don't know about that, my friend. I don't know about that. I was just saying how you're alive. Oh, nope. That's a GG. Well played. Well, everybody, welcome back in. There's going to be a second one today. That's right. We got two of these games between these two. So once again, in the blue, playing the Infernal, this is Filter. No use for a name. He has a use for a name. Everyone does. We all need names. And his opponent playing the red and the Celestial faction, his preferred faction, it is Aureil. Alright, Aureil showcasing last game some clever play. Let's call it the new meta, shall we? The new meta, which is Saber through the Aeon Gate. And if you don't like it, just when you think you can take out one of the Sabers through the Aeon Gates, there's another Aeon Gate on your other side of the map. And the cool thing I liked about that was the new play I learned from Aureil, which is you should micro your Sabers in and out of the Aeon Gate, because then they stay permanently invisible. Which, awesome. Awesome. Once again from Filter, going very fast 3 early shrines. Don't hate it. I'm a bit of a greedy player myself when I can be. Although I also like a good old-fashioned all-in, so I like to keep my opponents on their toes. But Filter's opted for eco opening both times, and I think at least hearing the chitter and the chatter out there, it sounds like that Infernal eco might be the fastest now, as Infernal's got some more eco buffs, and it might be more than they need. We'll see how that washes out. We saw a farm going down right here at this camp. We had a farm here. We got a farm here. No farms over here. But that means there's a lot of supply right now. We got 25 out of 87 supply for Filter. And that's a lot. He's not going to be supply blocked for a bit. What it does mean is an expenditure of resources on something that was not exactly necessary. The goal here was to get some fell hogs, but because this farm was created so much later, there was only one fell hog. He didn't really maximize the value of it, but again, it still gives supply, so it's not like it's wasted. Here he's doing a great job of using those phantoms as tanks while they're also doing their DPS. I really like that. And we see the help camp get cleaned up here and be captured by Filter. Oh, and going straight forward now. What's he gonna do here? Yeah, okay, he's going for this camp here, and I think that's definitely something he can do, but it might just be a smidge early for me, as we're seeing Brutes and Fiends go down to the Bruiser there. And now, okay, it wasn't that bad. I thought there might have been more casualties, and it turned out pretty well. So, not hating that, actually kind of liking that. Sort of a different creeping pattern. Often you'll see this one get taken out first. I think one reason is this one, of course, is just not as difficult, but it gives you maybe time for one more round of units before you take the Luminite. What's the benefit of this other way? You get the income quicker, and you also get the bigger creeps faster, so you are not at risk of losing them to your opponent. Okay. I haven't been really looking in on Aureil so far, but he's going vectors again and immediately jumping on top of some gaunts. Trying to be super efficient with these vectors, so far being really, really so. There, oh, leaps on top and gets already has the delta jump and the recall. Sorry, very well done. Nice micro from Aureil to start here. Pretty much getting free damage. He just needs to pull back home now and heal up, and he's doing great. Where's our arc shed? There he is. So arc ship sitting over the power bank. Cast those healing rays down, and then the power bank heals it back up. I think each of its healings costs 25 energy. And it has 100 energy total. Another little micro battle here as Aureil is jumping on top of these units. It's not really a micro battle because while Aureil it has to micro his vectors quite well, Filter doesn't have much he can do against that. He can either A, move in or run away. And here he comes, trying to get that Magmadon to get on top of something, but the Magmadon is so slow here. He does use his trample only just to be like, I'm so mad I can't deal damage. And ooh, okay, that was probably a misclick from Aureil, but you see that Magmadon was bait. Magmadon easily taken care of by the vectors. And do we got any charge? Nope. No charge yet on the brutes. Infernal Fury. If we had that, oh, it just finished. If we had that earlier, it might have been a little bit more helpful. Might be able to get a stun on a few of those vectors. Maybe allow that Magmadon to get some damage. Here we got vectors. Oh, they're like, we got free gaunts, maybe even free brute on the map here. I don't mind if I do. And now the vectors are like, okay, that might be too much. Now the stun is on deck. We see its effects right there. Ooh, but the sabers have arrived. It's saber time. And actually, this is kind of good. Aureil does have the better defensive position here, as half of Filter's army is headed down into the natural, although it looked like that was intentional. And this northern army gets cleaned up, whereas this army is trying to go for the array. I'm not sure that's the best choice. We see the array lifted up and used its Sovereign's Watch, so it just cleaned up that army pretty well. Yeah, I think the power banks are what you go for if you're not going for army. And Aureil did squeeze his way out of this. Filter once again building up tier 1 largely. I'd like to see some kind of tier 2 added to that. I'm not exactly sure what it is. Maybe it's Hellborn? I liked the Weavers last game, although maybe it's too late. Weavers can actually be pretty good against vectors as well, because you can latch them in and stun them and then beat them down. Aureil finds this space here, kills a bunch of imps, and is like, maybe there's more juicy imps over here. Nope. I guess it's just a shrine. There's still 2 new imps here. You can go get him, but no, he's chilling, he's leaving. Ooh, link node. Very curious. Wonder what that's for. Dragon's out. Dragon's out, trying to get some damage done on these units. Shroud Fall goes down. This is a very interesting use of Shroud Fall from Filter. This is not a normal time that the meta would use Nightfall. Nightfall, now it's usually used almost like BM. It's not intentionally used as BM, but it's usually used at the end of the game when you're already winning, and it doesn't hurt, but it definitely helps to have a little extra shroud everywhere. But because it's usually used near to the end of the game when you've already got maybe an infernal lead, it seems less consequential to me. So I do like how Filter's been like, I'm just going to use that skill basically as a big old effigy. And that's just one way to use the Animus. Now that the dragons don't cost the Animus anymore, we don't have to save up for them, which is useful. This dragon is confused. Not sure where the action is. But, wow, okay, a bunch of brutes just come charging into a meat grinder. The concave was superb here. Superb. Now, wait a second. I need to be careful because Aureil's up to his shenanigans again. He's full on a shenanigan. And Filter's going to do his best to try and do something here. Out come the sides again. Dragon goes down. But the army of Aureil has already popped out and deleted this base over here. And apparently half of an army as well. And it's just going to zoot back into the Aeon Cannon. And I imagine it might zoot out here. Aeon Gate, sorry, Aeon Cannon would be something else. I don't know what it would be. Sounds cool, actually. Let's get one of those. Dear Frost Giant, please bring in the Aeon Cannon. This base here looks like it's going to go down. At least these imps are. A few more imps showing up for the buffet. This base is up, but only one imp there. And Mass Accelerator. Zot's over here and finds another base worthy of killing. And we see more and more link nodes over here. And an Aeon Gate. But there's already an Aeon Gate here. Do you really need another Aeon Gate there? Maybe you do. I don't know. In you go. Oh, there's another one. Of course there is. Like I said, this is the new meta. Saber, Aeon Gate. This is where you wish you had some overlords or something where you could be scouting all these. But wow, sabers are powerful. Another Aeon Gate. How much do Aeon Gates even cost? That is a good question. That is a good question. Filter suggests he move over there. Because who is he suggesting to? Everybody one at a time getting into the Aeon Gate. Okay. We don't need any pushing or shoving. And once you're in the Aeon Gate, you got to get out. Where? Oh, wait a second. My bad, my bad. They had to come home here because there was an army here. And I say it was an army here because that army is dead. Wow, okay. So I'm over here watching the Aeon Gate dance, and I missed out on that. Now, lots of blood and gore down here. Blech. So much. And where did they go? Poof! Oh, back out again. Back over here. Now, so far, okay. Here we are going around to try and take out the Aeon Gates. And now heading straight into the sabers. Ooh, look how quickly those brutes get melted. All turned into fiends that also got melted. And yeah, that's it for that army. And I think that might be it for Filter. Good game. Good game.